Hey, what's up YouTube? Here we go again with another video. I'm going to do the video that I talked about on the last video in the past on my Scaleless head project, which gives me the scaleless snake, which I think is sort of the crown jewel of what I have going on here. A lot of controversy in this project though. You got people who love it, you got people who hate it, and I'd like to talk about that. So, here we go. One other thing. Wouldn't you know it, finally I have the elusive snake in shed on video. But let's check it out. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, here we go, doing the two snakes that I have that have the scaleless head trait in them. On my left is Pixie, and she is a, I guess, wild type, normal, ball python with the scaleless head. And then to the right, potentially your left, who knows how this is going to turn out, is Leahy, and he is a pinstripe scaleless head. Pixie is in shed, so I'm probably just going to end up putting her up, but I just wanted to show you guys, kind of the two snakes that I'm working with. She's sitting at right around 1,100 grams, so hopefully in the next couple months might be able to do some pairings. Who knows? That would be dead of summer for me, but who knows? We'll see what happens. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and put Pixie up really quick, and then we'll talk about what the Scaleless project is to me and kind of my thoughts and feelings on it. But hold on one second, guys. Alright, there we go. Got her all put away. I don't want to stress her out. There's no point, for doing a YouTube video and having her annoyed or irritated, not feeling good. There's just no reason to do that. But here is Leahy in all his glory. He is a pinstripe scaleless head, as I had mentioned before. But some of the things that I feel like people aren't really taking in consideration with this scaleless gene is just how much of an enhancer it really is to other morphs in themselves. You can see from him, he's pinstripe, but he has this kind of wacky pattern on him. He kind of has a complete dorsal stripe here, and I think that's kind of really cool that something that is, fairly simple can add just that much more to it. It's interesting that it's not only, the scaleless or the missing scales on the head, but also what it can do to patterns. I don't know if you guys could have seen, it was quick, the Pixie was here, but she is just a normal, but I feel like her pattern is actually fairly distorted, which I think is cool. I also think he's a lot brighter than a lot of the pinstripes I've seen, which I think is unique to the scaleless head as well. Not even taking these two genes any further, just applying the scaleless head to other genes I think is a really good way to go as well. I think this with clown would look really well, not even the full scaleless. A lot of the other genes I think would play a great role. It's sort of like lesser. Lesser to me is really heterozygous for a leucistic. And you can see what lesser can do in thousands of other combos, and it's just absolutely incredible. But it's interesting, this project, just kind of switch gears here, how much hate people have for this project. It seems like you either love it or you hate it, and you're really not in the middle. It's interesting, the opinions that come from this, when you see, there's a few people out there that have fully scaleless animals, and just, on social media and things like that, when you kind of go and look at the animal, there's always a few people on there that hate the project, they hate the animal, but not only do they hate the project and hate the animal, they seem to hate the person, and they really do a lot of personal attacks on who they are, their morality, they're terrible, they must be the devil. It's just fascinating to me how upset people get and go straight to character attacks just because of a captive bred animal. And I feel like people, why does it have to be like that? Why, we're this small community, And I feel like if we were all just a little more positive, maybe we could be seen as more positive as well, you know? I mean, we're the weird one here, guys. Not a lot of people like snakes, you know, when you take a big chunk here and look at the whole population. So for us to be mean to each other, it's just kind of silly to me, especially over, you know, what is essentially another morph. You know, and I can understand that a scaleless animal probably wouldn't fare very well in the wild, and I can see why people get upset by that. But I think they're also neglecting to see that their blue-eyed Lucy probably wouldn't fare that well in the wild either. You know, even albinos. I know all these morphs have came from the wild, but they're not normal. You know, they're a variant. They're a genetic defect. Every morph out there is a genetic defect, and it's a variance of the normal ball python. The reason the normal ball python looks the way it does is because it's evolutionarily advantageous to look that way. It prevents them from being captured by a predator, and it also allows them to be a predator, you know, and they've evolved to look a certain way for specific reasons, and that's why you don't see the normal ball python be solid white or the normal ball python be scaleless. You know, it's not going to do well in the wild. That's why there really aren't that many in the wild, if any, at that point. And it's been, you know, shown now through Winston at WHS, these scaleless snakes do fine. They do absolutely fine in captivity. I believe he feeds his snakes live still. They get scratched and kicked and bit, and they're still alive. And that's just kind of, I think, my take on it. You know, before, I just wish people would take a little more consideration into what we're all doing here. We're all breeding genetic defects, and you know, some are more controversial, I guess, than the others. But in the same time, my snakes are all very well taken care of, I feel. They're all eating, they're all happy, seemingly. You know, if a snake can be happy, I guess, whatever your view is on that. And so would a scaleless snake. So it's just kind of unfortunate, the negativity that something so crazy like this can bring to the hobby. And that's just something I'd like to see leave altogether. If you don't like it, that's great. I don't like a lot of different morphs that are out there, but I'm not going to call somebody a jerk or tell them that they're a horrible person and inhumane because they like that morph. So, but taking it all back, I really do love Leahy here. I think he's a gorgeous looking animal. Super bright, really clear pattern. His belly's really pretty, you know. Very clean, not a whole lot going on there. And I just like it. I love how the edges come up and it kind of has little, like, almost white around, like an outlining around each of his edges on the bottom. I think that's really cool. But he's a really great snake, and he's going to do really cool things for me in the future, I believe. So I just can't wait. But at any rate, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. The next video is kind of be my sort of oddballs. I have 3 more girls that I want to show you guys in a little more detail, and we'll talk about that when the time comes. But as always, guys, give me some comments, some feedback. Let me know what you all think. Thank you again for tuning in. It's always fun doing this, and we'll see you the same time next week. Thanks.